things welding over my head. Finished up this bottom. These pieces I made the other day, so that I can go ahead and cap them off and move on to the next thing. Alright, that looks okay. No, that's good enough. Now let's jump over to this other side. I don't believe there's any way to actually look graceful to do this. There we go. That'll do. Now, let's do a little grinding. Yeah, that's marginally better. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's a beautiful new day, and just trying to finish up a couple of things here before I start moving on to the Ranger and getting it disassembled and cut up. I went ahead and welded the backs of the nuts, or I welded the nuts, I guess, rather, for these hinge bolts, for these hinge nuts, so that I can get to them and remove the door from the other side, and hopefully these nuts will stay in place and I won't have to hold them from the other side, because I won't be able to. The air conditioner will be here on the passenger side, and the fuse panel and some other stuff will be over here on the driver's side, so I'm not going to be able to get to them. And the same applies to the fender nuts. The nuts here that hold the fender onto the body, they were originally encapsulated with these really cool, super complicated looking, let's see if you can see, yeah, See, it's got a square nut inside of it, and it's actually got these welded on enclosures that hold them in place but still give them some adjustment. These are super awesome, but unfortunately a couple of them didn't make it. It was a disassembly, so I'm going to have to replace them with some just regular nuts that I'm going to weld in. That one I had to cut off. And what I'm going to do is just weld the nuts into these holes, and I hate to do it because I don't have any way of adjustment, but it's just going to have to be what it is. And hopefully they'll fit up well enough that I can get this fender to sit like it's supposed to, or at least close enough. I mean, I doubt that's going to be the biggest part of the problem after all the modification has been done on this thing. Alright, well, I got those welded in, and got the rest of the bolts put in too, just to make sure I had them all and that they fit. Everything was good with the retainers that were still there. They all went in real smooth. I did go ahead and clean all the bolts up on a wire wheel, and then chase the nuts here with a tap, just to make sure everything was good and clean. It went in like they're supposed to, and they do. Then I put a little PB Blaster, a little oil on them, just to keep them corroding over the next few days, weeks, months, however long it takes before those fenders actually go back on. So, with that having been done, I guess it's on to the next thing. Well, if anybody thought I was going to retain the wipers, definitely not. So I went ahead and decided to throw some supports into the A-pillar hinges here. It's just a piece of 1-inch square tubing going from this support down here to the upper hinge, just to help tie everything together to keep some of the flex down. I got this one in, just finished welding it. Figured I'd go ahead and tack this one in too, get it done. And then that's pretty much the end for this, I think. Finally, we can start working on that Ranger. Ooh, just beautiful, beautiful. That looks good. That's good enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have some sad news. After years of faithful service, my job-smart flux core MIG 125 welder has finally, sadly, let me down. Now, granted, I was able to fix it, but it is no longer the way it left the factory. I was trying to do a little welding touch-up, and I just lost feed altogether. She wouldn't feed at all. Turns out the little adjuster for the tension on the roller literally just pulled out altogether. Like this right here is actually broken. This is the little retainer where it would go in like this and slide up on here. Where the nut goes on the bottom, down in here, it's completely stripped out, and I was not overly tightening this thing, just enough per the instructions. But I have had this welder for probably 6 years, so, and I do a pretty fair amount of welding considering it's a small 125 flux core. But still, I can't believe that the tensioner, it just completely stripped out the plastic, which is the reason it happened. This whole mechanism is plastic, which has been fine for years, so it's been a great welder, and it still is now that I've got it C-clamped. But that is going to have to be my new permanent tension solution. I hate having to rig stuff up that I use on a almost daily basis. But granted, still does a good job. Still love this welder. Still have had a great run with this welder. I've had 6 years and probably 3 times the duty cycles that it was ever created for. But what are you going to do? Anyway, I just thought I'd show that because I thought it was sad but also amusing that if all else fails, just C-clamp it and keep on going, because I don't have the money to buy a new welder.